Greetings, everyone. Rev.Hawksblood here. I'm calling from the big island of Hawaii. So, I want to get into a lot of things today. So, here's the way it's going to go. I have about 25 different topics that I want to get into. I want to get through them as fast as I can and go through them all. And every subject you can imagine, I'm going to throw into this today. So, sit back and listen. Try to get something out of it if you can. I mean, if you don't agree with everything, that's fine. If you agree with anything, that's fine. But you really should think about all this stuff before you go to vote and what we're really voting for. So we only have about 7 days. If you didn't vote already, you better have your mind cleared out for what you really want to do when it comes to that day. I mean, they're all trying to persuade everybody to go a different way, which is what happens during an election. But we need to be on top of all the information that's out there that you should know before you do go. All right. So, okay, I'm going to start with schooling. I mean, there's so much about issues about schooling. Well, how safe they are and how unsafe they are. I'm going to go through each topic a little different way, probably things you never heard or thought about or wanted to think about. But think about this. We have shootings in school. A lot of people are even afraid to send their children to school now and worry about it when they do. And now they got home schooling, which is on a computer for everybody because they're trying to close the schools and now they're trying to open them. But you should have the choice. Only when they say you don't have to go to school, you don't go to school. When they tell you you have to go to school, you have to go to school under certain conditions. You know, it's it's going to sound bad because I know rich people are rich and they don't care about what other people think. But the problem is they control all the rules and regulations. So here's the thing. People, think about this. For the people that run this country, how much would it cost to put a metal detector in every school? First off, to stop the violence, to stop the drugs. They could have a dog at the entrance as well, and somebody man it, a security person. All right, it's going to be a little extra money, but it'll bring a lot more safety to the whole school. And I know I worked in a school in Oregon, and they had a part of class of Native people, which they put all the natives in one class. But here's the thing. They have a dog come in once a month. They don't say what day it is, and the dog goes through all the lockers. And they find people. They find 1 or 2 people every time they come. So I'm talking about keeping schools safe if we're going to be forcing children to go to them. If they go to them, we're going to have to worry about all the rules about the virus, keeping the distance and face masks and all the other things that go along with it. But then again, people don't want their children home because they have to work and have to do something and they can't stay there and watch their child all day. It's a complicated thing right now, but we made it that way. It allowed to get this bad, the schooling system. And now there's another problem that comes with that. It's called school bullying. I don't know how it was when you were in school. I know how it was when I was in school. And they're trying to stop it, trying to fight it. But bullying is a serious problem. Because in school, you're dealing with young children. And they're pretty much open. And bullies like to push ideas and things on people, hurt them, and a lot of different things. And how much recourse does a family have? And what happens after a child gets bullied? It already happened. It's a crime. And it's sad that most children really don't say anything. They're afraid to get bullied more. And when they do, they get bullied more either way. So it's a horrible situation, which is a mentality, I would say, of the family parents, how they teach your child. Sorry to say that, but it's fact. I know you go to see these crimes on TV and they show you the news, they show you the parents of a child that just shot up a school. Oh, he's not a bad person. He's a good person. Well, good people don't take guns and go out and shoot other people. Good people don't go out and kill. People don't go out and do all these things. Good people do not, unless they're programmed wrong. And we have a lot of that going on. All right. Now, I know you're not going to agree or understand half of the things I might get into if I have time. But here's the thing. For me, I had a problem. I still do. I mean, when I was in school, I had dyslexia, ADHD. I couldn't read right. I saw things backwards. I was hyperactive. And they do play on each other. And they're only proving that now. So for me, school was hard every which way. I saw the bullies in school and things like that. When I was a freshman, I saw how they affected people in school the first year. All right. Now, let's take that a little bit further. Into college. It's not much difference. In college, start getting this ego trip. And they think you're better, whatever the story is. They form a group. And their society likes to play games on new people. And they make them do these frat things and stuff that are really bad. I mean, none of the things that they make people do are really good. I mean, but what else is going on in a frat? We want to join a frat. You have to because, well, you want to live in the same unit with these people and things like that. Well, you got drinking, partying, sex, all right? And now you got these people, you're forcing them to do crazy things as well. I know there's different times we go through different things in colleges. I know they made a petition a long time ago that on a dating scene, you had to sign this letter saying if you took a dinner from somebody, you had to give it back something. If you paid for the dinner, if you didn't. I mean, it was a really screwed up system that college kids thought of. But when you give them too much freedom, when they're only there for one reason to learn, which is probably what they don't realize in any way, it deteriorates it. I mean, my brother went to a college, my cousin went to a college. And I look at where they went in life. One of them went nowhere, the other one became a scientist. But in the interim, where are they in a spiritual level? Where are they in with reality of today and the present reality? What is their important things in life? What does school and colleges teach children? Do you have a clue? How to do a specific thing? How to operate on somebody? How to build a circuit? How to plot out a blueprint for a house? But it doesn't teach you anything about living, family, friendship, companionship, compassion, lying, cheating, and all those words. You don't get into that. So college is a place to go for people that have money. And then what happens? You graduate and you got to go to work. You know how hard it is to get a job when you get out of college? Sometimes you're lucky. I know I went to school for electronics. And every place I went said, you have to have 2 years experience. How do you get experience when you're in school? So the cycle of then you have to pay this off for years. It's a ridiculous cycle. I mean, it makes a lot of people money. All right. But remember, programming starts when children are little. And when I cannot believe the ignorance in the United States now, more men and women, more men than women are a little bit more corrupted in ignorance. All right. The big filler for this planet and the United States is called alcohol. Why was it ever legalized? Because it was about money. Why did they associate alcohol and hot dogs to football, baseball? Why was it like supporting that? Because they were the ones making the money. I mean, how different is it now? I mean, I can give you numbers. What is it, like 80,000 die of car accidents and drinking? I mean, how many thousands and thousands die of? I mean, first you got drinking, then you got drugs. How many people die of drugs? Depending on what drug you're talking about. Marijuana, nobody. All right. So, smoking cigarettes, that causes more problems in people as well. And the number's extremely high. When you go from, for one of them, it's 210,000. 210,000. I mean, you go in these numbers and they get higher and higher when you look at the facts and how many people die in the United States in a year's time. It's sad. I mean, we got 150,000 people dying daily anyway. 100,000 people die in the hospitals. So you try to balance that out with all the people dying of sickness and everything else, smoking, drinking, drugs, and sickness. And then you add in, okay, that's one number. But then we have all these other numbers that add to it. Okay, how many people are born in a day? Do you have any idea? I told you 300,000 every day. That's a crazy number. It outweighs the number of people dying daily. So the world is becoming overpopulated. No matter how many people are dying, or how many people we say are dying, and numbers are corrupted. I'm not saying those numbers are really 100% accurate. And I pull them up on a 6-month period and see if they change or add any. But they always give you numbers from 2016, which was really a bad year. I mean, the flu killed about people, and now it's down to 22,000. But now they're saying they're not going to give the results of flu anymore because they're going to just relate it to the virus. The government plays games on you people, whether you see it or not. Now, is Trump better than Biden? And is Biden better than Trump? Well, it depends what you want to think about, what you care about, what's important in your life. And that's basically how you're going to vote. Not about the planet, not about other people. You're going to vote on what you think is right for you. You're a rich fool. You're a rich asshole. You're going to vote for Trump. You're going to worry about taxes and things like that. You poor people, you're sure not going to. Some people will be swayed by what people are saying, but they don't know the truth. I'm going to get into that. I'm going to go into every single thing that Trump did or getting involved with in the past couple of years that are destroying the planet in every which way. And I'm going to go into a few debates what goes on with that as well. But children are effect of everything that the parents do. And, well, oh, no, I teach my child well. Well, to do what? Never mind religions are forced on your children, whether it's good or bad, whether it has any truth or not. The whole school system is teaching children certain things. Nonsense. Not important things. What do you learn in grammar school that's so important? How to read. How to spell. Did any of the math you learned in grade school help you? When you go into in high school even, is it beneficial? Yeah, if you're going into college courses, because the programs are going to give you, you're going to need that, especially with chemistry and things like that. But who teaches children? Children got to go to school half of their life, half of their living life while they're in school, and they don't know what they're getting. They don't have a clue what's going to happen. Parents should understand over all this time we've been alive, what do children get out of school? Where does it really help them? How does it help them become a better person in life? Does it? We have colleges, which cost how much money? I know many years ago it was $4,000 a credit. So imagine the bill that creates that they have to pay off over the years after they graduate, and hopefully they get a good job. And if there's a depression or something going on like right now, what kind of job can they get? Well, all right. Parents expect the school to teach their children what they need to know. Really? Is that like father knows best? The school knows better what's good for your child even? How you raise them? How much children get breastfed? I just saw a special where a boy was breastfeeding until he was 6. When do parents find a morality that they can fit into that fits in with society, or they want to live in their own reality as well? That's a problem. It's a serious problem for this world right now. Okay, what are you going to do? Take a vow? Oh, I believe in what they're saying. Okay, here I'm going to take that and go into this part of it. Police. are like a gang. Right? All the crime going on. Oh, it's the black people. Do you know the numbers of white people killed are higher than the black people? Just so you know, in the United States last year. All right. It was a lot different years ago. But I don't want to go into all the proof that I can put out there right now. It's changing. Sure, it changes. But what do we expect right now to happen? And who's going to make it happen? Trump or Biden? I mean, the Pope protects its pedophiles. The police protect their people like a street gang. The courts protect the police. And people want to eliminate the police. Well, let's eliminate the police. That sounds like a good thing. Let's cut it down so there's only 1 or 2 cops around. So when you need a cop, there's none there. I mean, even the riots, they can't control them. Really? Not the police. All right. We're talking about, okay, in the middle class, if a person goes to court and they have to go against a policeman, the policeman's going to win. If a poor person goes to court and has to go against a policeman, the policeman will win. I remember one day I sat through 10 cases. I was on grand jury duty, but when I was in court other times for a parking ticket or something stupid, I had to sit through like almost 15 cases. And the judge would say, the character of the policeman is very dignified. We don't have a character of this person. And it would always waver the judge's decision because he was a policeman. Now, if it was a policeman that just shot a person for no reason 10 times, what would the judge say? Well, there, like I said, it's all a click. And if you know anything about the lawyer system, it's actually rooted into England. Why do you think they wear these robes? I mean, there's a lot of facts that most people don't know. All right. Back to the policeman. All right. All these incidents that are happening are bad. No one should be sitting there pressing their knee into somebody's neck. But then again, you know it takes 4 seconds to put somebody unconscious when you squeeze their neck. 4 seconds. And he was doing it for 6 minutes. And that guy was on drugs. He had a problem and everything else. All right. They already took away part 2 of his sentencing that they might charge him on. Second-degree murder. But here's the thing. When they train policemen, do they train them to shoot 6 to 9 shots into a person? Do they really? I doubt it. So they need better training for policemen. They don't need bullets that can go through a ship or a submarine or an elephant. And they don't need to shoot a gun. The only reason why I know they have it so it can kill a person, if somebody draws a gun on you and you shoot them and you don't kill them, they're going to shoot you. And that's the main reason why they justify having a weapon that kills the other person when they hit them. I don't know if you knew that. The same as a taser is a temporary, and it doesn't work on everybody the same. But then again, depending on his crime, what you should pull out of your pocket or out of your holster. A taser, a laser, or a gun that's going to blow a hole through them. All right. Something I know, I've been around too many cops, family-wise and other. They are egotistical people, period. Sorry to say that. You strap a gun on your hip that has the ability to take out a bunch of people, your ego becomes greater. You have 2 guns and everything else, and now you feel you got a badge on there. You can tell everybody what to do as well. Don't tell me your ego is not inflated, because it is, and it becomes that. I go into my brother-in-law, was a cop in my house, and I remember he said, I'm never going to take a bribe. He just got out of the Marines. They set him up, and he got shot and everything else, and then he says, okay. 2 months later, he was taking bribes, had to. All right, if you saw the movie Serpico, all right, it shows you what happens when you don't take a bribe, when you're with a gang, and the police are a gang. And they protect each other. Well, they should protect each other if it's good. I mean, how many people will testify, oh, I know what he really did, but I can't say that. He's my friend. Friendship is one thing. And should it override truth and spiritual truth? No. But then again, most people live in that aspect. Well, that's my family. That's this, that's that. No matter how wrong it is. And they feel that they have the right to defend that and do that. Well, I'm sorry to say I don't agree with that at all. Okay, you should never intentionally have the ability to kill somebody. I mean, war is all about killing, isn't it? How many people that go to war want to kill somebody really? I would assume and hope that about 80% of the children don't want to go and kill somebody, but they're probably going to be forced into a situation where they have to. Now, a government that forces people to do that, which is all countries, is perverted and twisted. They have no spiritual connection. I'm sure they don't believe in a real God or even know what a real God is. Sorry, people. You can believe and say what you want, but it's all lies. When you're a Christian and you go to another country and kill a bunch of people, is that justified? Where in the Bible anywhere does it say, kill people that you don't like? As long as they're not in your country, you can kill as many as you want. Where are those statements? And who said them? You know, religions are contradictory to themselves. They have their own laws. Moses came out with 613 laws after the Ten Commandments. Who was his brain and ego and everything else? If you ever get time and even care, if you're not religious or not, but see the laws he created. You couldn't do much of anything. And so, supposedly the Hasidic Jewish people follow those laws. Yeah, they can't follow 10 laws. Nobody could follow 100, never mind 600. Please, get it straight, people. You're lying to yourself, you're lying to the world, and you're lying to anything, including your own God. All right. Now, why do you think they sent children into the army? Because they were smart, intelligent, or just crazy? Because they weren't programmed enough to do and live a peaceful, normal life. They weren't given that information or even how to. So if they're having problems with their parents, they want to leave, having problems with their girlfriend, they want to leave, which is one of the main problems. Younger people used to do it. But then again, why? I joined and I got out right away because I met my first wife and I decided I didn't want to go in. But people that go in are forced into a situation, and that situation is killing. Now, if you have a spiritual awareness, you don't do it. Well, then you go to jail. Well, people ran up to Canada, didn't they? They were pardoned later on, but they knew in their hearts they couldn't kill somebody because it's called karma, and karma is real. Whether you want to really accept that or not is your choice. All right, we have violence and in the United States where police get involved, the army gets involved. All right, but when you join the army, what do you expect to do? Make money? No. I mean, I was joining because I was taking boxing at the time and I was in electronics. I wanted to take both. Oh, you can have both of them. They'll give you anything you want if you join the army right now, including a little bit of money. But then again, if you're forced to go to war, then what? Then you have to let go of your own morals. You should be living in your morals and die within them, which I say I will. Because when you go outside of them, you create karma, and then you learn more about life in hell than ever. And people, no matter all the sayings and beliefs and talk and bull, we are in hell. We're not in heaven. We're not in heaven on earth. If you are delusional. You're living in a completely programmed illusion and think it's right. If you're living in a world where rape, murder, and incest, and stealing, robbing, lying, cursing, drugs, and all those other things exist, you got a twisted dream going on. Because when you leave this reality and start moving into the more spiritual realms, it's not there. It is not there. But you got to overcome this reality first. Until you can let go of all the programmed ideas of why you're here, you're never going to get there. So I know I'm going a lot of different ways, but I told you I'm going to give you a lot of information. You can do whatever you want with it. I told you, I'm against killing in any way. I never went hunting. I mean, I did go fishing. I did kill fish. But I want to go fishing. But even now, I just don't feel like I need the desire or have to do it to kill fish right now. And if I was starving to death and had to eat, I might. But I'll throw this in real fast. Trump's son, guess what he does? He goes hunting. And he goes hunting for animals that are almost extinct. Is that ego? Is that power? What is it? Control? Shooting an animal with a gun? I remember a friend who was going bear hunting. I said, well, take out a knife and go bear hunting. Instead of going out there with a shotgun or whatever kind of gun you're going to use on them. Make the ground playing fair if you really want to do it. But no, people will never do that. We know that. How do you learn the truth? Who do you get it from? Trump? Really? Now Biden, he's more of a family man. And I only realize this now. Everybody's picking on Biden and saying all this about his way he holds children and stuff. I pulled up about maybe 50 pictures of Trump. All the pictures that were online of him with his daughter, from the time she was real little to the time she was old. The daughter, of whatever age she was always on Trump, sitting on him. And all through the young ages, check where Trump's hands are. Every picture. Look where his two hands are. Amazing. Nobody talks about that. They want to talk about Biden. But they're both old people. Are they aware of everything that younger people are aware of right now? I can tell you, they're not. I mean, it's good. The phrase is bad or worse. So what do you want to pick? Well, we have to pick one. I mean, we don't have any good people running in there, really good people that would be a benefit to the world. And I don't know how many people would even understand what a good person is. All right. Government never comes out and tells us anything that's happening. Never tell us the truth about anything. And if you want to know some things, I'm going to get into it. Please, if you're here, stay here. Don't run away. I know you want to. You don't want to hear anything. You think you know everything. You know nothing. Nothing about what's really going on with the virus. You know nothing what's going on with the government. You know nothing what's going on with the UFO world, space program, or any of that. You know nothing about it. Well, I say when it comes to family, it's so different. That little white lie is the word. And sometimes you need it in a family situation. Because if you say the truth, it'll destroy the family. I almost did it 2 days ago. Saying the wrong thing, even though it's the truth, could shatter something. Most people aren't ready for the truth, or want to hear the truth, or believe that there is a truth. Hiding is most people's excuse for living. And instead of learning the truth and leaving here, they'd rather say in a lie and stay here. So I don't think I need to explain what a white lie is. You kind of describe a situation without putting a certain fact that you know is the part that you don't want to say. Oh, you took out the garbage. I took it out. When? Last night? No, just right now. I mean, you try to. I'm not saying you should use the white lie for that kind of a scenario, but it's a scenario that could break a relationship. So there's little things you learn, hopefully, but who do you learn them from? I'm 67, right? And I learned the hard way. Everything. I never had a father that I could respect or work with. I mean, he left us when we were about 12. He used to beat me half of my childhood. So again, what did I learn about a father? Not much. My grandfather was my only idol. I didn't believe in football, baseball, hockey, or any sport. They didn't turn me on and make me feel good or make me think that things are right or it's good to play. I never could see it. I thought it was stupid. I mean, the first time I joined a baseball team, I threw the ball and hit somebody in the head and knocked them down. I was on a football team. The first in the tackle, we got into a fight. I mean, it was like, what do they do now? Hockey we're allowed to beat each other for the longest time. Now they get punished, which is what should happen in any game. But how far can you punish a person? I mean, children that don't get What word should I use? Not, I'll use the word punished. Oh, you can't punish your children. No, you can punish your children, and you should. How you do it is a different story. No, you shouldn't kick your child across the room. No, you shouldn't smack them or anything like that. Starve them to death. No. Maybe the simplest things now, because everybody's in the computer, take it away. Make them stay in a room. Don't give in to a day's time. Give them a sentence and keep to it. You got to give them a foundation of truth and what's right and wrong. Because when they don't learn that, they don't do good things later on. I never smoked cigarettes. I don't do drugs. And I never got drunk. Can you say that? Would you want to say that? No, I have fun. Fun because people have to do those things to escape reality. They're not even comfortable in the reality which they live in. And that's even sadder. And what's happening right now is putting the country in the most horrible chaos ever in history. Well, our history. And what are we doing? Listen to people curse each other out, put each other down. No, just tell us what you're going to do and say you're really going to do it and swear on it. I mean, that's what we want to hear. Are you going to give medical to all the people that need it? Yes or no? Are you going to put your life on the line for that? Trump just handed this person who was, they swore in her name, the other person, the higher court today, but they gave her, she goes, well, it was the White House person interviewing Trump, and he walked away. And then they said, well, he has no plans for the medical plan. They said, we got it. Here it is. They handed her a book. You see both my hands? I don't know how many thousands and thousands of pages. Really? I'm like, it's going to take her a year to read them, to even get halfway through that book. You know, and how really important any of the stuff in it is, we don't know. They just threw it on her because they know she won't be able to read it before the election and come out with saying, well, this says this and this says that and that says that. The same as Trump isn't telling anybody how much money he has or doesn't have. Why is that? Why is he afraid? I mean, Biden kept his cool and exposed some things. But I want to talk about something in a little bit that was one of the most serious problems to this planet right now, which he did not talk about. All right. I want to go, before I go into that, our jail system, another corrupt place on this planet inside the United States anyway. It's worse in other countries. Should a person in jail have equal rights to a person out of jail? Why? Well, I'm a humanitarian and everybody has to be created and live equally. Really? Do you let a starving person starve? Are you treating him equally right? In the United States, how many children are sexually abused on a daily basis? How many women are raped in a month's time? And what happens to those people? Mr. Bill Cosby? It's almost up to 60 people that said he abused them, that said that he abused them. And he got convicted. He's got 3 to 6 years. He could get out anytime in between. You know, it's amazing because he's famous. The person was convicted of being involved with 60 rapes or something. He'd be put away for life. Hopefully, but that doesn't happen either. I can go into a story. I don't want to say names of people or anything, but people that I know directly. Raped his girlfriend twice. Raped his girlfriend's daughter. All right, and he's still out. People that do bad things get out. Why is that? You know, I kind of thought it this way. The better person you are when you go to jail, the more they'll keep you in there because you're less harassment to them. The better you are when you're in jail, the worse, more problems they have to deal with. And so, yeah, with this virus, I want to bring something in serious. I live in Jersey. The prison in Jersey, which I had a friend who worked in there, who came to one of my classes I was teaching. And he said to us, when AIDS first came out, It was 10 years before they released what it was. When it came out, a lot of the prisoners had it. So all these people were dying in prison. What they had to do to keep the numbers fair is send them around to all the other prisons. Seriously, fact. I was there. But at that time, the prison guards were allowed to carry guns. They were allowed to shoot a prisoner if they tried touching them. That's how bad it was. But you don't even hear much about AIDS anymore either. But realize these sicknesses and viruses are all created in a test tube. Whether you understand that or you don't. And you need to. All right, now Trump's trying to force a virus before the election. It's not going to happen. You know, there's on facts really online, how many people died of the pre-vaccine already, of one or two of them. You know, we had the other vaccine for the flu for how many years? It's poison, it's toxic, and in the long run it kills more people than it saves. Do you think chemicals in a body that works on natural, it's based on a natural situation, not synthetics, not radiation. I can go into that, but I'm not going to give you a course on that right now. If you need to learn the truth about it, get involved with the truth. In prison, these people should be separated. You should never put a person that just got put in jail because he was smoking marijuana with a killer and a rapist. Oh, well, I know a good person that got raped in jail 6 months ago, roughly. Maybe, I don't know, in between the time frame. From a good prison to a bad prison. Because he's involved in the UFO world and they don't want him to go any further with what he already released. He's dying of throat cancer. They might let him out in a month, but he's dying now. They didn't let him get treatment for 6 months. Now, with the virus hitting prisons, whether you know it or not, they're locked into a room. They cannot leave that room now. So you have to look at reality. The other thing I say, we give them more rights than we give poor people. Why is that? The average prison costs roughly between $80,000 to $150,000 per person in jail. And the jail system knows that and they want that money. So they keep the jail filled. These facts are allowed by our president, vice president, and Congress. Now, in jail, they get to watch TV, play sports, do weightlifting. And when a person, bad person, a rapist goes in there for 4 years, 6 years, what are they doing while they're in there? Nothing but working out. Nothing about getting badder and badder. They use the word stronger and stronger. So when they come out, they can tear apart anybody that gets in their way again. And they don't change. People don't change. A rapist, a murderer, don't change into a loving, compassionate being. Or they'd be sacrificing the rest of their life to pay back to the family that they destroyed. A rapist destroys a person, gets 3, 6, 9 years, maybe 12. What about the girl that was raped? She spends the rest of her life with that inside her consciousness. Is that right, women? No. Are you doing anything about it? No. Luckily, all these women that were involved with, not Biden, sorry, Mr. Bill Cosby, the ones that were against him, formed a group. I think there was about 12 or 13 of them. And they went to many states in the United States and changed the law on rape. Only 12 women. What if the whole United States women actually got together and supported something important? These are the same people that are going to vote in 7 days. Do you know what you're voting for? Do you know why you're voting? And why? What's going to happen after you vote? Do you care? Well, you want your stimulus check? Did we get it? No. Trump says, well, it's not my fault. No, it's not. You want to give them a little bit of money when they need a lot of money. So, you know, I want to get into this. I wasn't going to say it at all. Money is fake. The idea of money is fake. Sorry to tell you that. Think about it. Gold was used all through history. And kings and pharaohs always has tons of gold. Who paid them that to gold? Where did it come from? All right. I'm not going to go into the alien story about mining gold and all that. But, okay, the gold was there. And then when it came to a point, It's so hard to move a trailer of, well, a wagon of gold somewhere without it getting robbed by the Indians or whatever, native native people or the cavalry or just bad baratos or whatever you want to call them. All right. So basically, they said, hey, let's create a new system. And it was money, paper money. All right. Because this way, you didn't have to cart that money around. And you could write it on a piece of paper and then give it to them. And they wouldn't have to cart it around. And it slowly became gold as the backing of it. And silver as well. I mean, it changed during the war. But even at that, they stopped using gold. Why? We didn't run out of gold, people. We still have probably more than anybody knows in the United States how much gold we have. You think they tell any one person how much gold we have? And I say, well, we've got 2,945 tons of bricks of gold. No, nobody knows the number. Does anybody know where the gold underneath the Trade Center when it went down went? No, somebody does. But does anybody really know how much gold we have? So if you're printing money based on gold that you have, how's anybody in the whole rest of the world know how much gold you have? Well, I got tons of gold. I'll give you $10 billion right now. What I'm saying is they make you believe that printing money has to be based on something that they have. And then they give you this fake idea that we're in a deficit with China. And Trump's getting the money back. We're charging them for this. Money's fake. All right? And we work to live to make it in a fake reality. But the truth is, there's no minimum of money we have or can spend or create. All right? Who's paying the guy that prints the money? How much are we paying? We're paying more money to make a penny now than a dollar bill. So shouldn't we stop making coins right away? What's this problem of doing that right now? Silver. We don't use silver. We cut it down, put copper inside it. Why? Because, well, it's a tax of 3 cents. It's always about taxes. Charge $1, which everything's just about 99 cents, or $2, or $5, $10. Make it all paper money. We don't need to waste metals, silver, gold, copper, on things that are not practical. Make everything even. What's the big deal? No big deal. That's why they're talking about going to paper, an illusionary idea of money. And then it'll be on a credit card. It'll be so invisible. But the Bitcoin, and they're playing all those games right now. But what's it going to be based on? China wants to rebase everything on gold in their country. Are they going to prove and show us how much gold they have to show us how much money they say they have? Again, how did they give us? What did they give us when they gave us money? Well, we'll let you go on your taxes to us. We'll let you go on the barter, travel, transportation. Where's the money? What is it? Where is it based on? And let's see it. No money's being moved around, really. All right, that's enough of money. Trump's about money, and I don't want to be in his place right now. All right, let's go a little further. Prejudiced. Are people prejudiced? Are you prejudiced? Am I prejudiced? Yes, I am. Sorry to say that. Against black people. I'm prejudiced against ignorant people. I'm prejudiced against drug addicts, drug dealers, sorry. I'm prejudiced against a lot of things. And I can't say that. Why do I have to support that and give love to it? Really? A murderer, killer comes in and does something to my family or anybody, and I'm supposed to say, well, I love him. I'll send him love. Really? What Bible? Oh, the Bible. A bunch of lies. Let's go on to that. No, we'll hold up on that. All right. I can go into when I was young and prejudice. You know, when I was just about getting out of school, my brother just graduated college. And he wanted to get a job. My father worked for Maxwell House. And he went to Maxwell House. They just changed the hiring bill. They can only hire a minority. What? What do you mean you can't hire people that are intelligent and smart? You only can hire a minority? All right, and you know how I know? For me personally, I worked for the phone company. When I went to the phone company, first time I took the test, I was 17. I failed English. And they said I had to wait 2 years to take the test again. But guess what? In 2 years, they had to lower the standard so minorities could pass the test. Seriously. I took the test, no problem, and I got hired in the phone company. But the games they play, and they say they're not prejudiced and they're not working for the poorer people? Really? You know, and everybody had it so hard. Everybody had it so hard. Who? Your parents directly? Oh yeah, this and that. We came from where? What? The people that come here is different than the people that are forced to come here. And again, check your history. Who were the first slaves in the United States? Check it out. You will be surprised. I'm not going to go into it. The facts are there, and people say no, yes, no, maybe, could be, right, wrong. The facts are there. All right. Now, I'm going to say something a little different. I don't know if you know how it was in those days. I don't know if you believe in reincarnation, past lives, and all that. I'm aware of my past lives. And I could say I know for a fact, but you don't have to believe it. In native time, all right, when they were killing and slaughtering the native people, the black people hid with the native people to survive. Why do you think there's a lot of black and native people? They don't even know. Half of the people don't even know that. Parents don't say anything about that. We had to run into the woods and meet with the native people, and they took us in, and all those kind of things. Why do you think there's so many white native people? Because all the native women were raped and things. Look at the facts. Oh, no, we're not those. Well, you are those same people. Oh, you're a good Christian now? Are you really? Do you know what the Christians did to the native people? Any clue? After they slaughtered 50 million native people, what did they do? The ones that were left in later the 1890s and around that time frame, coming into 1900s, every child born in the United States on a native nation had to go to a Catholic school. They picked the child up at 5 years old and kept them until they were 16. Before they let them go home, they started making them drink and everything, and then they sent them home. Don't forget, earlier they were putting gunpowder in the liquor that they gave to the native people as well. Native people have a bad tolerance to liquor. They can't deal with it in any good way. But what they did to them. Now, these kids were in school, how to learn Christianity. They made them cut their hair. Now, I don't know if you know the Bible story. Who was it? A famous super strong person got his hair cut and he lost his powers. But when you take a person's dignity away, you really destroy the character of that person. The government knew that. Christianity, the priests and people that were controlling that knew that. And the only reason why they made everybody kill them, because they called them demons, redskin related to the devil. And it made it easy for people to kill. So when that whole thing about scalping, the white people started scalping the native people first, whether you want to know the truth. I mean, the native people started cutting people's ears off and everything to get even and stuff like that. But, here's the reason why a person was scalped. Hey, I got a scalp. When they brought it back, they got different amounts of money. They got a lot of money for a child's scalp. They got a lot of money for a woman's scalp. And they got a lot more money for a man's scalp. They were getting paid per scalp. And if you're a bad person, what are you going to do? Make a fortune. So you want the truth, which they don't teach you in school, or don't want to tell you in school how evil. When Columbus came over, what kind of people did he come over with? All the people they didn't want there in Spain that were thrown out of the country, or wanted thrown out of the country, and they sent them. They became a little bit better off here than there. But once you get a name, you're hard to get out of that name. So realize what the foundation. People want to forget the native nation. Well, I don't want to think about that. Why? Because you slaughtered 50 million. There's only 750,000 million left in the United States right now. I'm not talking about half-breeds, meaning half native and half something else. Full-blood native people. Why? I just told you why. So, even the phone company, they had to start hiring different races. It's a gameplay. When we say, well, what about the Spanish? Why do we have to speak secondary language in the United States? It's Spanish. The whole country is controlled by Spanish and the British. And it still is in a lot of different ways. More so Britain and the law system of the United States and things like that. You want facts. You want to understand what's going on, why Mr. Trump is a very bad person to bring into power. Biden has problems. Everybody has problems. But who's going to have the least problems, and who's really going to help people like you and me stay above ground? Seriously. Trump talks about jobs. Let's create smoking chemical fields and stuff and make jobs to kill the world sooner or later, more so sooner than later. He doesn't believe in any of the things about what's happening to the planet. Nothing. He doesn't believe in science. And where does he believe a scientist is going to come up with a vaccine for the cure for the virus? They can't cure the flu. After how many years? And the flu has 3 poisons in it. And somebody just showed me actual documents showing how it can kill the people in the future, how it hurts people, how it makes more people in the distant future sick. You can't put a poison in your body. I'm one of the people that lucked out. I did fire dancing. I put benzene in my body a lot. And large amounts of benzene kill you instantly. You can't force benzene out of your body. Look, I've been there. I've done it. I'm not lying. I'm not a liar. I'm not a storyteller like 99% of the spiritual people out there preaching to you, all the UFO people preaching and telling you great stories. Anything they ever said, is it going to help you? Oh, they found a ship. Stephen Greer came out. They just reported, a whistleblower came out, top person, said he was there when the ship landed and touched it. So we know that. Well, I don't believe ships came here. Well, people wanted you to believe, in even the UFO world, oh, it's a Russian ship. It's a Chinese ship. No, in the 50s, they didn't have that kind of technology. Ever. Russia had a ship that was a satellite shape. It rose in the air, but that's about all it could do. Do you want to look at stories and believe stories? Go right ahead. Believe Trump's going to save the world. How? All right. I'm going to go into a list in a second. But I should let go of that because it's a serious thing. I think you should separate them. I can give you a scenario of how a jail would really work, right? But that's not going to help because I don't know how Trump really is going to deal with any of that when he gets in again. But they let people out again this year. Why? Because of ignorance. You don't let criminals out of jail because you don't have room for them. You don't keep them in a jail and give them all the room they want either. But let's move on. All right. I'm just trying to think where I want to go from here. Again, what about wrestling before I let go of jail? I just thought of it. The drugs in jail now are higher than they have ever been. How's that? What kind of security do they have? What would be the big expense of bringing a drug dog into the into the prison? The same as you do if you brought it into a school. You would find the drugs right away. They wouldn't be coming in. Oh, the security guard came in. Well, how did he get it in? It's not flying into the window. You know, systems are corrupt and men are super corrupt. And when it comes to money, money talks, everything else walks. All right. So the scenario is, are you ready to deal with another 4 years of what we have? At least try to take a chance and make it better. The medical plan should be like Canada. You know when Obama went up to Canada and asked them, well, how bad is your medical? And they said, we don't have any problems with our medical. I know when I went to Canada, I think they enforced a bill where every family had to pay $100 into the medical plan. $100. And then everything else was free medical. All right. When he came back, he was blown away. They don't have a problem. So we're dealing with a reality right now where medical is so important with these viruses and sicknesses that are being created. I know too many families that lost their home. Look how many people are losing everything because of this virus now and the medical plan. I know people that just lost their medical plan because they didn't have money to pay for their medical plan after they lost basically half of their life. So where are we going? Free medical? We should be. Oh, well, we can't do that. Why not? Because some idiot who created a pill that they charge $1,000 for. Hepatitis, the pill for that is $70,000 for 70 pills. 3 months, you pay $70,000 to get. Well, whether you pay it or your insurance pays it, somebody's paying for those pills. And personally, if I was dying, I'd say, here, family, take $70,000. But no, somebody's making money. Somebody's always making money, even on the virus right now. The people that made the hand cleaner, the mask, and the vaporizer, which whatever Trump calls it, said they made thousands of them and shipping around the world. They don't save people. If you get put on that, you got a lot more chances you're going to die. I'll tell you this real fast. If you're sick, feel slightly sick, go into a steam room or a sweat lodge that has to be over 115 degrees, stay in there for 15, 20 minutes, breathe and really hard into your lungs. It will kill the virus. It can't stand a temperature of over 110. But they usually can't put that, they can't directly. The vaporizer doesn't put that in your body. It's just put more moisture in there for it to breathe on. And I'm not a doctor. I'm not a rocket scientist. But I was told, I know you can listen or not. But if you had to go to the hospital, think about that before you do. Go to a steam room. Make sure the temperature's high enough and stay in there. Is it going to hurt you? No. You'll probably even feel 10 times better no matter what. All right. We have a lifetime on this planet, which is 125 years. Nobody passed it yet, and probably nobody will. Spirit said, well, that's the age that we don't want you to go past because you should have learned what you should have learned in that time frame. If God, whether you believe in it or not, wanted us to stay here, we would stay here. If we were going to another place, heaven, by Christianity, and it was the same as this place, why would he make us go there? Everybody that dies, unless they're ghosts and spirits that linger here, they go to the astral plane. Every soul goes there. Some have to stay there for a period of time and come back. Some a long period of time. And some souls that are aware spiritually go past the astral plane. But we have these programs, zombies, teaching and preaching and everything else now. We're becoming six-dimensional beings. Is Trump a six-dimensional being? That will never happen in this lifetime. Is Biden a spiritual being? That will never happen in this lifetime. And you want to give your life, this world, the United States over to them? We can't even get a person to run. Why is that? Now, I'm going to just go backwards again. I'm sorry. If they enforce certain things, crime would stop in a short period of time. In prison, if somebody was really bad, getting into fights, they put them in solitary for 6 months or a year, not a week. You got to enforce things on people without killing them. Mankind doesn't have the right to kill another person. Giving a person an electric chair, a gas chamber, whatever it is, whoever pulls that switch is killing a person. Did God tell them they could do it? No, the president, Congress, some idiot in his job field said, you can kill them, go right ahead. Really? Oh, the just way is inject them until they die? Well, how about a more unhumane way without killing them? Throw them in a giant building, solid steel building, lock the doors, and just throw food in there, bread and water in there once a day. And let them stay there until they die. Oh, that's humane. Hold on. Hello? 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 It's probably an important call, but they didn't say anything. All right. Now, just think if they did that, what would happen? People wouldn't want to go to jail. A rapist wouldn't want to go to jail, especially if he got a life sentence or something. If they didn't get fed three meals a day, if they got fed bread and water until they got out of jail, well, they might die. Well, they committed a crime against people, against life. against God, against everything. And we have to say they deserve equal rights to a poor person or even a middle-class person? Well, Death Wish came out. I don't know if you watched. This guy was killing all the people that were committing crimes. Just so happens, after that movie ended, people started doing that. Crime dropped for almost 4 months. But then again, when we take the law in our own hands, it's like letting go of the police. We don't need police. Get rid of them. And we can do what we want with our own guns and shoot whoever we want. So crime goes down. We'd go down, period. Because they wouldn't be getting back out either. So I know people want to feel good about what they do. Feel better about not killing people. How about that? When we go to war, we kill people. All those little children going over there getting killed. Why? Big children, whatever. 17 years old, 18 years old. I had a girlfriend who worked on the front line. All she did all day was clean children's bodies. While the Vietnamese were attacking us with children 14 years old. And we're shooting at children. Do you call that intelligence? What do you call it? You know, I always say in a war field, you kill a leader. You don't kill all the working people. No, that's the way the big people, the rich assholes say, kill all these people. I'm going to attack you, like playing chess. No, just kill the king and queen. Kill the leader. Don't kill all the little people that are forced to do it. So, who's for what when we go to war? Who's going to defend what happened? One last thought. I'm sorry I do this. I have a lot of problems with my mind anyway. But everything goes around in a circle. Vietnam was a horrible war. And I know a person feeding them LSD to program people. We do horrible things. Science is bad. It's not good. The body can work with natural foods better than it can with chemicals, created chemicals, poisons, and toxins. In a native nation, any sickness that you get wherever you are, the cure for it is somewhere in the land around you. That's their truth. That's their belief system. Go to the rainforest. Those people could never get sick if they know how to use everything that was in the rainforest. People are locked into money. Mr. Trump says money is all that matters. Really? All right. I'm going to go another step deeper. Why is not one Native person in politics? Why? There's black people in politics. There's Chinese. Well, that's iffy. But how about people living in the United States that lived here all their lives, born here, family after family here, can't be in politics? I mean, other people now like Obama and people can become president. Why can't a Native person? Why do people hate Native people? I want to go into it. I already told you, black people had to hide out with the Native people. But if you want the truth, there's a show on TV called The Vice Channel. Watch it. All right? They show you the facts. They show you what happened. They showed you what happened to the Native people during the pipeline. Why is it? Now, here's for black people, black Native people that are half and half. Why don't you support Native people? Why aren't you out there defending Native people that are being tortured, abused, and everything else? Here's one guy gets killed, and we can destroy the world. How's that? Why is that? When the pipeline happened, on the news, they said, oh, a couple hundred people were out there. And that's all they said. Do people care about the real news, or you want to believe the lies on TV? Do you ever hear a news story about Native people? You don't. Why? I can go into all the facts, but the government doesn't want Native tribes on this inside the United States. Well, there's a lot of tribes left, but two of them they want to eliminate, which they are. South Dakota, North Dakota. They've been trying to eliminate the Hopi people, Apache people for the longest time, which hasn't worked. but they are killing them in South Dakota, North Dakota. I'll go into the facts. You want them? Okay, if you don't see me next week, you know why. But the facts are the Native people are still being killed in chemical ways and other ways. And if you want to know truth, there's something called the Goon Squad. Check out what it is, who made it, check out who runs all the reservations. I had a list of every single one of them. I lost it. I've been moving and going through a lot of things, but I lost that sheet of the people put in by the government, where money goes when it goes to the Native people. All those things. You want the truth? No, you want to defend who? A black person that was killed? Or how about a whole tribe of people being destroyed and slaughtered and more constantly always have been? And nobody cares. Well, if you're black and half Native, check it out. Check what really went down at the pipeline. You know anything sorry about the Wounded Knee either? They were protesting. The Wounded Knee too. They're on top of a mountain protesting. There was gunfire going on for weeks, people. And then finally the government said, it's it, over. Helicopters came and loaded the sky above them and said, put down your guns, surrender right now, or you'll all be shot. And it ended. There was a riot in Hoboken. It was the Cuban people. One of the Cuban guys was in jail, and they wanted the Cuban flag over the police department. And they were destroying the streets for about 3 weeks. I had to walk across it every day. And the police didn't want to get involved with hurting a person during a riot. How it ended? It ended in one day. It ended in a few hours. All longshoremen in Hoboken put a hat on, grabbed clubs, and walked to where the riot was. It ended right then and there. All right. You know, Trump had a lot of ability. Well, the governor, the mayor, they don't want to do it. Declare a state emergency. Declare a state emergency, which it was and is. Move in there. Take it. End the problem. You don't have any legal right to destroy anybody else's property. Ever. No reason. So where are you going with that? Nowhere. So when is it time to become aware of the facts or not? After the election? Oh, he said he was going to do this. He said he was going to do that. Do the important promises get kept? Do we have a medical plan? I saw the book. It's so wide. Nobody's going to be able to read that in months. So sure, nobody's going to be able to fight what Trump says. Oh, I got a plan. It's there now. It must have taken him 2 years to write it. All right. Check it out, the Vice channel. So during this pipeline, while the Native people there, all the chiefs came and they were up in teepees and everything else on this line. It was winter, cold winter. What were they doing, people? Do you know? Wake up, people. They were hosing them down in 0-degree weather. They had dogs and they sigged them on the people. A lot of people were being hurt. On top of that, they had helicopters go above them as closest to the people as they can get all night long so they couldn't sleep. They were using sound weapons on them. Okay. I mean, they're going to start using that on everybody, but guess what? Nobody talked about it. Nobody. Nobody even cared. Nobody even cried. And that's sad. But all these people crying about what, one guy dying now? Check it out. The facts are there. Like, do you want to just take one part of history and magnify it? The Native nation created a constitution. Oh, you don't know that? They stole it from them. And for many years, up until rather recently, they weren't allowed to use anything, the government, like public utilities. They were still considered government property. Do you know the facts? Do you know any of the facts? Do you care to? We should be supporting Native people now. We should be allowing them to be part of our system if they want to, but we shouldn't be able to force them to either. Sorry, people. You're not listening to the facts. You listen to the lies, the bull, and everything else along the way. All right. We got how many more days? Now, we're going to go into election. Just so you know, when the last election happened in 2016, Hillary got 59,600,000 votes, all right? That's a 600,000 mark, where Trump had 59,400,000. So there was a separation of 200,000 where Hillary won. But the electoral votes, people, I talked to my brother. He's supposed to be a smart person. He thinks it's important to have it. You know why? Why do you think they have it? Because they don't want people to take over the country. They don't want people to take over the country. People that live in the country. There's what, 538 electoral votes. Who do you think those people are? Who do you think was given the right to be an electoral voter? Rich assholes. Sorry to say that, but it's true. They had to be in high power. They had to have money. They had to have land and all these things that make them an important person. A poor person's not important. A sick person's not important. Middle class people are just victims. Really? You want to support that? Go right ahead. You think Trump cares about poor people? Or the middle class people? I'm not even talking about 400,000. I'm talking about 100,000 is even high. 50,000 was called, when I was younger, or rather recently, was middle class. If you made over $50,000, you weren't middle class. And that's a low number per day for now. All right. Getting back to this electoral votes. You don't vote for the president. You're voting for those assholes in there. And there's only how many? We got how many billions of people voting, and we're going to leave it down to 500 and, but I missed it now. I got dyslexia. A number of people that are going to decide who's president, no matter what we vote on, no matter how much we vote. So you think something's wrong completely with that system? Well, you should. That's your choice. You're one of those people. The good aliens are going to come help us soon. We'll wait for them and see what happens. Only the rich make the laws. The poor people don't. You know that. You understand that. Now, I'm going to break down some things about Trump. I got a lot more to get into. I'm going to get into as much as I can real fast. Putin, you know who Putin is, I hope? All right. He said on Russian TV, in fact, whether you want to believe it or not, in Russia, on Russian TV, Putin said, I want you, Trump, to come out and tell the truth about 9/11. Why would he say that? Why would he say that before Trump was elected? Then he says, I want you to tell the truth about aliens and what the government's doing with them. Why would he say that? Think about it. Why would he say that? Then he turns around, says, we're working with 27 alien races. 2 of them want to destroy the planet. Did you hear that? He said on Russian TV, they're working with 27 races. 2 of them want to destroy the planet. I know that. We had wars with races, but nobody wants to hear that. And they're not going to tell us. Tell people. So what happens after that, people? Do you have a clue? Putin comes to the United States, and where did they meet? They sat down in a room for 2 hours. All right? Do you know what Trump came out and said right after he left Trump? Do you remember? I'm creating a space army. Are you brain dead, people? Did you hear what I just said? All right? Within days, he goes, I'm going to be president when we land on Mars. Really? How long is that? And when did he know we're going to land on Mars? How soon? He knew a lot that he couldn't say. All right, now, I'm going to throw a number at you, which Trump isn't going to tell you. Nobody is. Because they want you to believe the United States need you working hard and giving them all your money. They want to keep control over you. If everybody had money, they couldn't control nobody. Who can they control if everybody was a multi-billionaire? Nobody. They didn't like you, they'd buy you the police department and close it down and put an ice cream parlor. Who knows what they would do? They can do anything they want. Hello? Hello? Hi, I'm right in the middle of the show. Yeah, I'm right in the middle of the show, but what is it? Yeah, I'll be hanging out. The show's almost over. All right. Bye. Sorry about that, people. People next door. All right. Uh, here's the thing. Are you ready for the truth? Well, when Trump said that, did you catch it? I'm going to give you a number. How much do you think they spend on a space program? Trump did not create a space program. He renamed it. The space program has been here since 1949. It was created by Truman. It was run by Majestic 12. And that's a fact. And you can find that fact anywhere. All right. Eisenhower had to become secondary to that, and he wasn't totally into all the stuff that Truman set up already with aliens and the government and everybody else. But during that time frame, where did we go? Nobody knows anything about it. But you're not going to learn it until aliens come down and say, we're here. So, again, it's called $5 trillion a year. They combine that with weapons program, which they spend all the money on weapons. All right. And space program is considered a weapon. All the things we send into space, all the things we're doing in space is part of the space program, as well as underground cities. Nobody talks about that. Not one person. Not Biden, not Obama, not Trump, nobody. Why is that? You know how much money is being spent under these underground army bases and cities and everything else under there? Well, are you going to wake up people? No, I don't think so. The drugs you get are too good, or the liquor you're drinking is too good and delicious and tasty. The real world's dying. And I'm not even going, I don't know how much further I really can go. All right, let me go. I want to go to this before I let you go. All right, here's the thing that you need to know. And this is probably a really serious, important thing. I'm going to start at probably 14. The Comprehensive Environment Program Liability Act, the Archaeology Historic Preservation Act, the Antique Act, the Historic Sites and Buildings Act, the Farmland Protection Policy Act, Coastline Management Act, the Federal Land and Management Act, the National Wildlife Refuge System Act, the National Fish and Wildlife Act, the Fish and Wildlife Coordination Act, the Administration Procedure Act, the River and Harbor Acts, the Eagle Protection Act, the Native American Graves Protection Act. All right? You hear me? I hope so. Now I'm just going to read a few more. Environment Policy Act, Endangered Species Act, Clear Water Act, National Historic Preservation Act, Migratory Bird Treaty Act, Migratory Bird Conservation Act, Clean Air Act, Resource and Protection Act. I can't even say that word. Sorry, I'll fit it. Federal Cave Reserve Protection, Safe Drinking Water Act, Noise Control Act. You want to eliminate that too. Solid Waste Disposal Act. Did you hear of all the things of the bills he's passing and pushing through? Delusional, horrible, pathetic people. The things that are saving the world. He doesn't believe. I didn't even go into climate stuff. All right, I can go a lot further, but I'm going to cut it short. I wanted to go into a couple other things, but what I want to put in there is, if you saw the last debate between Trump and Biden, all right. Trump says, well, you want to do fracking as well, and you say you don't. Trump supports fracking. I can guarantee he has no clue what it really is, what it really does, and what's happening. Just that it produces money and fuel. All right. He goes to Biden. Well, you said you didn't want to do it. Now you want to do it. Biden said it, and Trump didn't hear a single word. Well, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to slowly cut it out. And what was Trump's ridiculous, ignorant statement? Do you hear that, people? He's going to stop using gas. Is he that brain dead? He thinks the environment's going to last forever by using gas? And the world's not being destroyed by what they make with petroleum? All plastics are made with gas, just so you know, oil. Everything comes from oil. And what they're doing with it, where they're mining on the reservations, and that's a big thing that's going to happen. They know that they have more oil under the reservations than anywhere left in the planet. They don't need to get oil from anybody. Guess what? They got to remove native people. People, are you ready to fight for our ground that we stand on? Of course not. Well, you should be. Support Trump. He wants to support all the things that are going to destroy this planet. He doesn't know anything about global warming, the real facts, what's causing the problems. People, here's a couple words you need to look up and learn what they are. Directed energy weapons, which is destroying California right now. It's real, and it's happening right now. The HAARP system, HAARP system. CERN, CERN, what they're doing. Geothermal, what that really is. It's close to fracking, but it's destroying the planet. Are you ready to wake up, people? Time's running out. Man, my computer's kind of freezing. I don't know what to do. But we don't have much time. We only got a couple days to vote. Whether you want to vote or not, or you're going to vote, and who you're going to vote for. It's really critical on that vein. So what can I say? Hope anything I said might have opened your eyes a little, so that maybe you might have a better way to decide who you're voting for and why. I mean, the battle that's going on is seriously wrong, with people on the streets fighting now. The march in New York City by Jewish people. You know why? Most of them are rich. Maybe they don't want to pay taxes. There's a reason why people do things, and money's always the root of all evil, and all evil comes from the root of money, and both of them are all people want nowadays. Well, let's throw in sex. That's the last thing as well. So, people, with that, I hope you enjoyed the show. Probably didn't like a single word I said. I didn't even get into God or anything else more important. But, I'm dealing with the facts on this physical reality called hell. Where you are, what you're doing, what you think you're doing, why you're here. We'll get into that next time. Peace, love, compassion, whatever you think you want out of life, I hope you get it. I hope you live until you die. Well, I hope you don't live too long, because then you'll see your family die as well. Peace, the planet's destroyed, being destroyed daily because of Mr. Trump. That's your choice. Go backwards. When they made cars, they made sure that the cars of the future were going to be electric. They made sure that 40% being made. That's the same as freaking the fracking. You have to slowly phase something out. You just can't stop it. Then the economy crashes. Biden knows that. Freaking Mr. Trump doesn't. Well,